morning. Welcome to another episode of Papa's Workshop. These are for Adam, Brady, Luke, and Brenna. But before we get started, we need to check in with my assistant.
There she is. Today's a special day for Molly. This is her birthday. She's 12 years old, and we got a little treat here. How's that? Huh? And we'll put her bed over here. Here, why don't you lay down over there? Right here, Molly. Yeah, right here. There you go. She doesn't like laying under the bench when I'm doing dovetails. She's not a dovetail fan. Something about not being able to sleep with the pounding going on. Anyway, on to work.
Hey, this session we're going to start on the little drawers that go above the pigeonholes on the Newport secretary. And those are turned in pairs. The front of it's hollowed out. I did a little practice one. And this is what it was turned like this to dish that out, and then we cut this profile in it. So that's what the drawer front looks like. But a couple things that trying to put the dovetails on that now with it like this is going to be hard to hold on to. So I think what we need to do is do the dovetails, the joinery first as usual, and then try to do these. I had already cut the stock to the width of the drawers. So we kind of have to do it that way. So that makes it a little tricky getting this centered, and we'll go into that, how I accomplish that when we get to that point. First, we just got to do the dovetails, and we'll do just like we did before. I got a side out here. No. We will do the pins first in pairs, and then chop out these on these things, and we'll get that all done. Then we'll be ready to turn them. I did go ahead and mark out the circle and what the profile is going to look on the back, so I know the orientation. So to work we go. All right, we're working on these little drawers. I got all the tails cut for all the drawers, and I'm working on fitting the pins and testing it. Nothing is ever perfect, so all of these openings are more or less the same, but they do differ by as much as a 32nd. So I've got and then also these runners aren't exactly parallel. There's a couple of them that are a little off. Let's see that gap at the top? It's a little bit more on this side. So I've got to take that into account when I'm putting these sides on. So I'm testing each one of them to make sure that they're level. The front is level across the top. That is the first goal. And then when we put the bottoms on, we'll have to figure out how to maintain that. So onward. All right, we've got all of the dovetails done for the fronts, and so I think I'm pretty much ready to go ahead and turn these and split them into pairs. And since these are already to size, we've got to get it in the center pretty close. So what I'm going to do, what I've done, is I've drilled this 5/8 hole in each one in the center, and then I just went through afterwards with a 1/4 inch, and I'm going to use this center. It's just got the 5/8, and that sets in there just like that. So I put this in the tailstock, and then we'll run this up against the face plate with double-sided tape. So that way it'll end up centered. And then we'll turn these. And these holes are the dish part of this, right, that needs to be a 1/2 inch at this here. So I made these holes 7/16. So we've got part of the challenge on this is to get all 3 of these turned so that they look similar. So you know, we'll turn it, and when we get to the bottom of that hole and we get rid of the lip, then we know we're pretty much a 1/2 inch down. So it's just a matter of getting the right slope or similar slope on all 3 of these. So we're doing 1, 2, and 3. I just cut a little piece of plastic that I can use to kind of gauge what I'll try to get them as close as I can. So we'll turn those, and then we'll split them on the bandsaw down this. And then these 2 little pilot holes are this hole right there. So here's this other piece that hadn't been trimmed yet. So that's it. And then it's got that. Then we got to cut it down and bring that flat across. So, and that is right at the bottom of the drawers. I've actually, when I had the sides on there, I drew where the bottom has to be, and it's just right close to those. So, and this curve here should end up right at this point, just like that. So we have to get those all kind of fudged together. So on to the lathe. All right, we got all 3 turned. And so we're going to go ahead now and split them with this pattern right there. We'll take and split them in half first on the bandsaw, and then I guess we need to drill those holes. Okie dokie. All right, we got them all cut out, and I clean that curve up with a spindle sander. So I have to do this center section by hand. And this is the way they're going to be up there. I've got, because these were turned from the same board, 1/2 has got the lines going, the curve is going up, but the other half of it has got the curve going down. So I arranged them so that the 2 that are down are on this side, but that I had one piece that was in the middle of the board that has the grain. See, the grain's almost straight. So basically I got a circle. That was this one here, like that. I put that one in the center of both of them. So these all matched on the left side. The right side will have the 2 outside ones will go up, and the center one will be the 2 outside ones go center curve down. This one goes up. So, and that has to do with the way the grain. See, the grain is right there. So when you do that, when it's going in that direction, you're going to get the downward curve. When it goes in the other direction, this way, you're going to get the upward curve. And you want to accentuate whatever you're doing. You want to try to keep them the same, but other than turning a couple of other blocks and throwing away the halves, But these all came from the same board that all the rest of the drawer fronts in the gallery came from. So everything's going to be color consistent. So we'll trim those by hand, and then we have to work on the backs, I guess. Do the dovetails for the backs. All right, we got the backs of all the little drawers done. They're all at this state here. So now we have to put on the bottoms, but we got the dovetails all done for all of these, and they all fit. So it's just a matter of putting the bottoms on,
And then on to the next step. Don't you think that's enough, Molly girl? That enough? All right. So what's next? I kind of decided I've got this material to make the box, but I've kind of decided that I'm going to do it the way or try to do it the way the original was, and I should have put the slots in for the shelves. So right now there's no slots, but there's going to be three compartments, so 2 shelves have to be on. So I need 2 dados in there, and not a whole lot of room to do that. So I'm going to wait for the hardware for the prospect door. Then I can turn this case on its side and put in the mortises for the hinges, and then see about doing the dado. If I can't get the dado in there, then I'll go back to that plan of making the box. I should have done that in the first place, but anyway. So what we're going to do in the meantime while we wait for that, I've ordered them from Ball and Ball, but it'll be a few weeks yet. We're going to start on these bottom 3 drawers. All right, this is the stock for the drawer fronts, the big 3. And then so I've planed them, square, and they're oversized both in width and length. And so now we need to get it so that the grain is, so that they look similar. Now, these 2 guys are out of the same board. And if I flip this around here, all 3 are from the same board, but this is a book mat, or you can see there where the grain matches up. That's how the board originally was. It was that wide. And then this one's out of the same board, but just one end or the other. And that's the top drawer. So that would look good, but then this doesn't match. I turned that so that they were similar. But we have to consider that we're going to have a curve up and a curve down, and the lines are going to go up or down with the curve. And to sort of make it look, if we did it this way, I don't know if you can see the grain on those guys. It's going this way, and then it's almost straight here. And we got the reverse on this side. So what would we have when the grain is this way? When we go the curve up, the lines would be going down, so if this is the bottom. And then the lines would be going up as we went down. And these would be doing the opposite. So they'd look like a clamshell. I mean, so that if it was just those 2, that probably wouldn't be so bad. But then we got this 3rd one, and that's, since it's out of that same board, we got the same thing. We got the grain, but it's almost straight here. So on this part of the board, the lines will be just parallel going down, and the same with this area here, the lines will just be parallel. So what I've decided is if I turn this one around, even though the grain matches the other way, if I turn it around this way, the grain doesn't look, we don't see the match, but we've got the grain going the same way on all of these. It's just starting at the corner and then go straightening out, starting at the corner, straightens out. So all 3, then the curves are going to look, the raised and lowered sections, the curves on the grain are all going to be similar. So that's what we're going to do. And this does not go all the way through. And this will be in the area that I'm lowering. So I'm hoping that when I lower it that I get it'll be gone totally. So that's the premise that I'm working on. So the first thing is to cut them to length. We'll leave a little bit extra on the width for now, and we have to put this shape. Here's the template. So we have to use that. That's going to be the shape on the drawers on these bottom 2. Now this top one's going to be a little different. It's going to have this shape
up to about here. That there's an inch and 3/16. The same width as the flat. Let's see here. So that's the drawer. So this distance here, we're going to have the same thing at the top. We're going to have that, and then these raised sections will come out this way, and the lowered section will go down. But we'll have that inch and a quarter band, or however much it is, on the top of that. So that one is a little different. So I'm going to work on the two lower ones. Oh, and the other thing with the top one, we've got to have the notch for the desk lid supports, right? So that drawer front will be notched like that, and that piece that comes out of there, we're going to put on the end of the support. So we're going to work on the bottom two first, and then once we get those fronts done, then I can put it up against this one and transfer and work it around. So that's how I'm going to then. I think I'll be able to the reason I wanted to leave the width a little bit is if there's any blowout when I'm shaping this, then I can at the end cut it to the width and take care of that. And that's the reason I'm going to wait on the joinery. Get this shaped. I'll be able to still hold on to these. They're big enough. And then we'll do the dovetails after we get it. The top one does not have a conventional drawer dovetails. It has a sliding dovetail because the side of the drawer, again, because of this support here for the desk lid, the side of the drawer is here. So it's going to have a sliding dovetail, the length of this, that goes in this front. So that's going to be a little different too. All right, to work. All right, this is the front of the top drawer, and I squared the end, and then I've cut this block out. And so now I'm going to focus. I'm going to shave off just a little bit of this to make this dimension right. It should be the 1 3/16, and because that's where the flat, it's the same size as that flat that goes all the way down there. So I need to trim a little bit off of this. Then I can work on the other end once I've got this one end straight. So, but I've marked this as the right one, and actually it's going to be, we're going to have to cut it back some because of the way that the grain is. It's going to be, we want this to look like it matches. And this part of the drawer is going to be down by the half inch or whatever it is, half inch, 5/8 below the raised section. So we'll have to take that same amount off of this so that the lines match up. But that'll be much later. Then I got the first end squared on the other two, so we'll cut those to length. All right, we got the two blanks for the two lower, the big drawers, the big three. And so what I've done, it's got this template, and I put the drawer front face down and then go ahead and just trace the line, the outline, and do that on both sides, keeping the orientation of the template. So that if there's any slight differences in the template, that's going to do it. And I did that on this other one. And once I got it, the outline marked, I marked that angle here. That's the apparent miter angle. So when it comes to cleaning those up, that line becomes, that's where we have to match the profile on the drawer dividers. So
So the next thing to do then is I'll cut this close to the line on the bandsaw, and then we'll take it to the router table, and I can mill those flats all the same. This flat and this flat, and there. Mill those all the same, and probably do the center section of this. And then we'll have to, by hand, get the curves in there. So we'll do that on these two lower drawers. All right, we got them cut out. You see, there's the profile. So now I just have to do that much of it by hand. And I got lucky with that knot. When I cut that out of there, no knot. It doesn't go all the way through. So we're good, and you can see the pattern. We've got the lines going down on both of these, and then when we do the top, and then they're going up on the, so it kind of accentuates the highs and the lows, makes them look like they're lower, makes the highs look like they're higher. So we just got this sort of symmetrical with this and this being in there. So we got some work to do. We could gang these together, but then these highs we can kind of just take a block plane and get it down mostly. I don't know, we'll play it by ear. This we're gonna have to use the carving tools to the gouges to get that close. All right, we got the high section. Those are rounded. You see this right there. So they just need to be scraped and sanded a little bit. We got all those on both of them. Done. There's the other one. And I set them together, and they match pretty good. I did them individually. Let me get her. Let's see if we can put these together one-handed. There we go. See, they match pretty good. So, actually that's upside down, but so now we need to do this center section, and you see we got quite a bit of material that we got to take off to that line. And I'm going to take the router table, flatten this center section to the correct, and that'll give me a reference to work to on both of these. Alrighty, I got the first one smoothed out pretty much, but I used this molding plane, and those are set at about a 45 angle, and I just get quite a bit of tear out. I sharpened the blade. I took the smallest shaving I could, and just couldn't get it any better. So I don't know. I guess I'll just use that to rough it out, and then I'll have to go over it with the chisels. And then a little sandpaper, I guess. Doesn't always come together. All right, we got the two bottom drawers shaped, and I cut them to width, which is the drawer height. So that got rid of any blowout I had along the edges. And just checking in, they all seem to line up pretty well with each other and the blades, so I think we're good. They just need final sanding. But we're going to do the joinery next, the drawer sides and the back, and then the back has to be cut too to make the drawer a little lighter. It's still 2 inches thick here on this section, so we'll take a piece out of that, but that won't need to be
it doesn't need to be a precise shape, so we'll just we'll cut it in the bandsaw and just smooth it out a little bit. We won't worry about the blowout because we don't have to get to any line. But we'll do that after the joinery. So while the back is flat, we've got, you know, a good secure surface to hold on to. So that will be next.